Relaunch of Felipe Ramos YouTube channel. Here we are in the King's Casino. Claude Monet in the VIP room. Look at this. 70,000 euros worth of alcohol over here. Beautiful, all the best alcohols. And then of course we have the gold ceilings. The ceilings are actually made of solid gold. And you can see this amazing dragon here. And you can see they're set up to do television interviews in this VIP room. So, Felipe, you want to interview me?
Yes, sir.
Let's do this.
Let's do it. So hello my friends, this is Felipe Mojave Ramos. I'm here with the man, the myth, Phil Hellmuth Jr.
You're the best around. Nothing's gonna ever keep you down.
I got a little excited to say Phil Hellmuth Jr. because I know you guys are a really big fan of this guy, such as myself. Okay, poker legend, not arguably, but in my opinion, best poker player in the world. Of course, holds 14 gold WSOP bracelets. So a lot of respect. And we're here to talk about a lot of things. One of them,
You're always selling something, Felipe. You know, selling. We're selling the book, the autobiography, which, by the way, is now on Audible. People are buying it. I talked for 14 hours about my life story on Audible,
nice.
Poker Brad. I'm really excited. My last book, Play Poker Like the Pros, was a New York Times bestseller, so I'm hoping for this one as
remember.
well. And you and I have been talking about my next book.
That's true. Well, I'm a big fan. I read the previous book. Of course, I already got this book because you sent to my place. Thank you very much. And about this next book, we're gonna talk in a bit. So first of all, for all your fans in Brazil, Latin America, which is where I come from, but this is a channel, of course, we're gonna talk with everyone. Normally, we have like a way that we say the Brazilian way. Whenever we play poker, we're very passionate about what we do. So mainly, we're a little bit more emotional about poker. So some of the people, when I was talking about you and over my social media, they were like, "Oh, Phil Hellmuth could be Brazilian."
I think that's true.
I think that could be very true, and that's actually very nice to say because one of the key elements in poker, I think you can agree to that, is like a two-player opponent. So whenever we're here, for instance, in Czech Republic playing the WSOP right now, we have players from everywhere, so it's really hard to adapt.
It's true. I mean, you know, that's where I trust my reads. But like Brazilians, I have a lot of passion for poker. You know, I mean, I think I have the most passion for poker in the world, actually.
Yeah, me too.
You know, I mean, I've spent, 33 years as a professional poker player.
Wow.
Just chasing, I want to be the greatest poker player of all time. So I chase that more than anything else. And people say to me, they say, "Phil, why aren't you burned out? You've won so much, you've done so much." Well,
That's true.
I haven't done nearly enough. So the only way you can be the greatest poker player in the world is by World Series of Poker bracelets. We know the great cash game players, but sometimes they have money, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they're good at talking themselves into really good games, sometimes they're not. Sometimes they're good at borrowing money from others, sometimes they're not. So there's a lot of variables in these people that make a lot of money in the cash games.
Correct.
But in tournaments, we all start with the same chip stack.
Correct. That's what I always talk about, that regardless if you play a low buying event or if you play a high buying event, the key, the goal, the challenge is to win the event. It doesn't matter for how much money it is. What matters is the challenge to be a winner. Sometimes, I must assume, I feel that way. I don't know about you, I'm gonna ask you this. It's even harder to win an event with a lot of people and a lower buying.
Sometimes, I've won a bunch of those. I won one with 3,800 people in it. I won one with 2,800, 1,600 people, 700, 1,000, 1,200. Those tournaments, I think there's a tremendous amount of skill when you're playing No Limit Hold'em. You can make folds other people wouldn't make.
Correct.
Make moves other people wouldn't make. And just keep yourself alive and then maybe get lucky. And so, when I'm playing the mix games, the $10,000 buy-in mix games, the skill set now, everybody plays close to the same. I think if you look back at my record the last 6 years in Daniel Negreanu's pool, I'm number one total points. You know, at least I was coming into this year. I think I'm still number one total points.
Nice.
But so that's for all the games, and yet I've only won 2 non-Hold'em bracelets. Because when you make it down there in a limit tournament, there's a fair amount of luck, right? I mean, you're at the mercy of the cards a little bit more.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? In the limit games. Now, I've won 3 limit Hold'em tournaments as well, but that's Hold'em. It's possible that it's easier to win with more players for me.
With
That's
more players for you,
possible.
that's nice. I like to discuss that because like this
You
is
still
not a-
only play
it's not
3
like-
days. Still only play 3 days.
Yeah.
Still only play 9 players at the table. Time passes, people go broke in the 10K. Time passes, people go broke in the 1Ks and the 1500s. You still only have to play 3 days. So sometimes I don't care if there's a ton of people. And the main event, I mean, I've blown it the last 3-4 years just through being tired. I won't again because now I'm going to take naps in the middle of the tournaments. Something I used in the 90s has come back to me. And so I will, if I'm tired in the main event, I blew it this year. I played great on ESPN. Great on ESPN. Everybody's talking about, oh, Phil folded ace king when the other guy had aces. That was on ESPN, right? And then, right after the dinner break, I sat down and I was like, oof, I hit the wall. I mean, we've been playing, I'd been in poker, I'd been in Vegas 2 months by then. And all I had to do was go outside to my car in the parking lot, sleep for 15 minutes, come back. I would have probably made the end of the day with a lot of chips.
Yeah, I like that. It's actually one of strategy that I use personally myself. I always go to my room and during dinner breaks pretty much. Like, so I eat throughout the tournament, and whenever it's time for dinner break, I go and I rest.
Yeah.
Take like a half an hour, even a 45-minute nap sometimes. And then it's really good because you refocus. You come back, like refocus it. To
There's
the-
something about the mind resetting. It's like a reset. It's
Yeah.
like your eyes close, you have a little REM sleep, and then boom, you're awake, and everything's new again. And I stopped taking naps during the dinner break about 2 years ago, and I haven't done as well since. I stopped because I was in a flow once, took a nap, and it messed me up. But the reality is, naps help me 90%. Yes, you're always going to find 10% of something that's good for you that doesn't work.
Yeah.
But 90%. So I'm like you, I'll try to eat 20 minutes, half an hour before the dinner break. That's when I'm eating food. It's easy to go and get at the World Series. Then zip back to the Aria for an hour and a half dinner break, take a nap, come back refreshed. That's a great system. And I'm also not afraid. I haven't used this nap in the car trick ever, but I will use it at the World Series because my car is 3 minutes away, right? And I don't mind going out there and just napping. I mean, 10, 15 minutes is enough. I mean, I blew all these chips, hundreds of big blinds for no reason. It's on me. If I just went to my car and napped for 10 minutes, I would have anteed off 4 big blinds maybe.
Okay, that happens to
And I
everyone.
come back fresh.
Don't go hard on you. That happens to everyone. I've done that so many times. Every poker player have
We've all done
that several times. Funny story. One day, back in the day, I was playing a Bellagio Cup event right after the World Series, and I lost a huge hand, last hand of the day, with like 26 players left, 24 to cash, and I was left with like half a blind or something like that to beg half a blind.
That's cold.
Having like, I had a set on the flop, my opponent had a stone cold bluff all in on the flop.
Oh my God.
Hit a runner, crazy runner over there, right? And I don't show up to play the day 3 of the event. I did not show up. So everyone have done some crazy things.
I would have
We
showed
good.
up. So
Yeah.
I've had half a
But-
blind and run it up to the chip
Yeah,
lead.
I learned a great deal out of that experience. So that was like really important to me. So I from that point on, I became like a strong player. So nowadays I'm a much more strong player than before. So
Yeah.
I'll take that as an experience. Talking about experience, I'm playing professional poker for 10 years. I'm here with a man that plays professional poker for 33 years. I feel like I'm a small kid, like a little baby over here. And we all have like our preferences when we play poker. We know that Phil's preference is no limit holding, it's his favorite game. I love no limit holding too, but you guys know I'm a very big mixed games enthusiast as well. So I love the mixed games. I find it fun. And so one thing I would like to ask you, like, what is the importance of nowadays for a poker player to learn some other poker modality other than no limit hold'em. You find
Super important.
Super
Super
important.
important. I started when I won the main event in 1989. Yes, I'm that old.
89. I was just born.
You couldn't play the big. There were no big cash games in Vegas and LA except mixed games. So right away I had to learn all the mixed games, and you know you lose some money when you're learning. You know, but you become
Correct.
better and better and better. Develop your own theories. Talk to other people about the way they play games. And at the end of it, like it's taken me a long time, but I feel like I'm a master in many different games now. Omaha 8 or better to finish 17th yesterday.
Yeah.
I felt like in that tournament, I felt there were like 3 of us that were playing better than everybody else by far. And to just fade and just not be able, and I had a lot of chips. I just didn't need much help. I didn't need much help.
Yeah.
that day.
But like
I didn't even, I just
I
need,
know.
you know, you just need your nut hand to hold up every once in a while, you know, and I play them small anyway, you know what I mean?
I understand. So we're gonna get to that. So hello. 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 What feel means here. So for you guys to understand, I'm very glad you said that because I always play this music for my fans 100% of the time. Guys, it's really important for you to learn other poker games, okay? So if you want to be a poker player, especially at the World Series, half of the tournaments are no limit hold'em events.
It used to be, you know, it used to be there's only 3 no limit hold'em tournaments at the series.
See?
And then for a long time we had a lot more mixed games. And then about 7-8 years ago they realized that people want to play no limit hold'em, so they brought a lot more no limit hold'em tournaments back.
That's interesting.
But you know, so for me, also Raz, for some reason Raz just makes sense to me. Now all of a sudden 2012 a first place in Raz. And then in 14 a first place in Raz, and a second place in Raz. And this year a 6th place in Raz, and last year a 14th in Raz. So just boom, 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 the game just kind of opened up and made sense to me.
That's very cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so
One big thing that I believe in poker is that the game evolves. And if you have someone in the poker game that is playing for a long time, okay, and still grabbing the results, okay, this has to be a matter of big respect. So this is what you have done, and we have seen so many players be really good back there in the past, and maybe still good players, but where are the results? When we talk about the results, you guys gonna see this image right now, a photo of Phil Hellmuth winning the bracelet in the main event in 1989. Before you guys thought about playing poker, you guys didn't even know what poker was, okay? Including me.
most of you
okay?
weren't born.
Yes, exactly. And right now, you guys gonna see also a really good picture of Phil Hellmuth winning the WSOP Europe main event
2012.
in 2012 after several years. So this is really proof of skill, okay? And I like that very much by having like different structures, the ability to adapt.
Yeah.
I think is the best thing that a poker player can have.
Yeah.
And this is not my saying, okay? This is Steve Hawkins saying, okay? The ability to change is one of the best qualities a human being can have. So imagine to bring this to the poker table. So I would like to ask you something, some quiz questions here, like very funny questions that people like to know about you. Do you have a favorite hand?
I mean, 2 black 9s was the hand I won the main event with in 1989, so I love 2 black 9s.
2 black 9s.
But I mean, I guess I like aces.
Yeah, every poker player like aces, but like we're not talking about the best hand, the hand that is gonna win the most.
10-8 suited was a big hand for me. 10-8 suited, so black 9s, 10-8 suited, and
Okay.
aces. Those are kind of the 3 hands that I think.
Okay, but we need to choose one, so people can relate to the film.
10-8 suited, 10-8 suited.
10-8 suited. Okay, so when you guys are playing online and you win a hand, you tweet out to Phil Hellmuth and to me and say, "Hey, I just won with Phil Hellmuth's hand."
The 10-8 suited
10-8
became,
suited.
they started calling that the Phil Hellmuth in Madison, Wisconsin, a long time ago, but I didn't pursue that one.
Nice. Okay, so it's yours now. And I do have a favorite hand. My favorite hand is Ace-4 offsuit. Okay, so the first big tournament I won was with Ace-4, so that's pretty much why. But my favorite number back in the day was 14, which can relate to Ace-4 as well. It's a funny story actually.
14 bracelets for me.
Oh, that's true. That's true if you guys believe in those numbers things. So It's actually a funny story for me because I used to play soccer, and at some point, football. At some point, the coach would like to give me like a really good number, like sometimes number 10, number 7, which is like really good player. And I'll say, no, I want the number 14. And he'll say, why the fuck you want the number 14? You know why? Because I used to like a girl that used to play handball, and her shirt number was 14, so I want to score and go and show her.
I love it.
So that's a
all
funny
about
story.
the girls. All about the girls.
So that's a funny story, I think you guys never heard about. It's fun to tell you guys right now. One other thing I would like to ask you. You say you want to keep on playing, improving your game, and be the best of all time. In order to do that, how is your poker planning nowadays? How is this management nowadays?
So, in February, I play No Limit Hold'em regularly with my friends, which is great. I hadn't had a regular game. I didn't have a regular poker game from 1997 to 2010. And then I started playing with this amazing group of billionaires. I talk about them in my book, my friends, I talk about who they are, what they've accomplished. And then, so that's good for me. And then in February, I took 10 days. I finished my book, my autobiography, finished writing Poker Brat.
Yeah,
And
so
I
just a
said,
minute. If you guys want to find this book, they want to find your book, where can they
you can go
find
to
it?
Amazon.com,
Right.
Amazon, PhilHellmuth.com, but also the audio sites have it now too.
Okay.
So anyway, I decided, I told my wife, I said, honey, I'm gonna just spend 10 days working on my poker. I've written this book, and so I went to LA with Brandon Cantu, and then we brought in Mike Madison, because I like Mike. Mike's a very brilliant strategist in poker. All the great players used to talk to Mike Madison about poker.
I like Mike too.
And so Mike and I, would talk in the past. And so Mike and I and Cantu and I, we started talking. Now I remember this trip, one tournament was half Omaha 8 or better, half Stud 8 or better. I've been working on my game. Well, Mike Madison is one of the best in the world. Maybe the best Omaha 8 or better player in the world, and great at Stud 8. And so as the time passed, there were like 90 players in this tournament. Boom, boom, boom. All of a sudden it's me versus Mike Madison for the
Okay, that's
for the
nice.
title. I won it. We didn't make a deal. It wasn't a lot of money, but the point is I got to practice the game. I got to beat Mike, and I felt like, all right, I finally could beat Mike at this game. And I'm not saying I'm
good.
better than him, but I played really, really good. And, when I invented new theories of my own as I went, I discussed them with Mike. One time I folded aces in Omaha 8 or better under the gun. Nobody else in the planet would have even considered that play. I asked Miami John Cernuto about it. He didn't mind it. I asked Mike. He didn't mind it. Because it's the limit. If I raise it there, I just felt like I only had 10 big blinds. I feel like I'm going out.
Okay.
Or maybe
So basically, you're saying you're playing like naked aces, like very few non-suited, like no.
it was like the
probability.
ace, king 9.
Oh, okay. Makes sense.
And it was just like, and I was just like, but it was a breakthrough because no one had ever discussed throwing that hand away ever. And I did it under the gun. And I was really proud of that play because then I ended up getting my money in some really good spots and winning the tournament.
That's really cool because I
But
think,
if it's pot limit Omaha 8 or better and I have aces, you're putting it in. You just have to go. I mean, there's nothing you can do because that hand plays well against any other hand in pot. But in limit, I just thought, I'm going to get called by the ace 3-4. I'm going to get called by somebody in the big blind with 10 jack queen. It's just hard to win.
Yeah.
Hard to get half. And plus, I busted a lot of Omaha 8 or better limit tournaments with that hand. So the point is, to bring it back, I spent 10 days studying every discipline of poker. I also got heads up in the deuce to 7 no limit tournament with a massive chip lead. I blew it. We made a deal and I made more money than he did, but I kind of blew my chips because I wanted to play the next tournament. We were on day 2 of this one. I should have focused and won it. But anyway, they gave me credit for 2 wins. And so, in that's 3 different games I won in. I was struggling with not getting there in Hold'em in February, which was kind of weird because that's my best game. But the point is I spent 10 days studying poker. Cantu and I were talking 10 hours a day. What do you think of this hand? What do you think of that hand? And now Madison's joining the conversation. And Mikey used to be a little bit lazy with his advice, but we kept checking his advice with Miami John Cernuto. So between Miami John and Mikey, And I know a lot about Umpire. I've been playing that game forever too. I'd hear different perspectives, and so if Mike said something stupid, then Miami John would be like, no, I like that play, and I'd be like, I agree, I like that play, and then we'd bring it back to Mike and say, what were you thinking? He's like, well, maybe you're right, rather than just stick to his guns. So we kept him honest, and it was really a great experience for me, and I try to do that. And so now here we are, and I came out here the 9th. Today is the 2nd.
Yeah,
I came the 9th. Today's the 2nd. I've been playing poker every day.
it's gonna be a month.
And it's mostly Hold'em and mostly Pot Limit Omaha. But my Pot Limit Omaha game is just getting better and better and better. Now I feel great at that game. And so I think whatever game I focus in, I really tend to see and get better at it. So my whole life I've gotten better and better and better at these games. And sometimes I forget there's stagnation. If you don't play a game for a year, all of a sudden you're like, wait a minute, you missed some small things.
Yes, I agree totally. Experience is a big friend of a poker player. So most of you guys that are playing poker right now and you don't play a lot, you might think you don't have the skills to play poker, but maybe you guys only don't have the experience.
You might have the skills,
Yeah.
but just not have the experience. Exactly. So that's the other thing. World Series of Poker, I'll go 5 days early or 4 days early and play mixed games every day. Mixed games, mixed games, mixed games. Why? Because I'm going to be playing a lot of mixed games, and I want all of that information fresh. So, and lately I've been playing a little bit of online poker, which you guys can play. For me, it has not been great, but I'll tell you something. 2010, I spent 1 week just playing tons of online poker. $1 buy-in tournaments. Phil helped me with 50-cent buy-in tournament. They didn't know it was me. I was
Okay.
playing under my name Lumestack, and Lumestakin.
Now
Scrambled
you know.
up.
Now you know.
Scrambled up, luckiest man.
Luckiest man. That's
When you
cool.
unscramble it. So Lumestakin is my name, but here I was playing 50 cent, $1. But I didn't care. I would rather play the high stakes tournaments, but I was playing at a site and they had all these small tournaments at 1 in the morning, and I was just practicing, and I'm like, oh, that's right, I need to do this. Oh, that's right. And my eyes were opened
Yeah, study
through
is key.
practice.
Study is key.
Practice. And sometimes you can get great at a game and not do it very often. You don't stay here. You start to slip a little bit, Slip. I play with my friends. I have to play a different style with them.
Of course.
They're billionaires. I can't bluff them. I have to play like a nit. Fold. That's a great tournament strategy, but you also have to know how to bust it open a little bit.
Yes, that's true. See, you guys got some really good advice from the best right now, and I'm very glad that we're having this first video back here in the channel with you. Very glad. And I would like to say that the WSOP main event here in Roswell is gonna be in actually 3 days, okay? And Phil's gonna be playing, of course, going for his second title here. in
Tomorrow's 111,000 euros. 111.
That's
one drop. Big event. 100 players. Oh, that would be the one to ship.
That's be the one to ship. We're gonna final table
4
together.
million euros or something. Oh my God, I'll take it.
We're gonna final table this one together, okay? And so Phil, if you have anything to say, shout out to your fans, shout out to Brazil, shout out to all your Latin American friends. You're more than welcome.
Yes. I know. I've heard of the BSOP.
Yes.
I thought about going many times.
Yes.
It's
I'm
just
gonna-
been a little bit too far. You've contacted me about coming down there in the
Yeah.
past. You're like, hey, come down. We'll do some classes and some clinics.
Exactly.
Almost did that. It just seems like I've just been a little bit busy. My life is just so busy.
Okay, but let's say something for our fans out there. We're gonna get that done, okay? We're gonna get that done.
I'm just gonna
We're
say.
gonna get that done.
I'm just gonna say I love the passion of the people in South America. Love the passion. I have that passion.
So I'd like to thank you very much for this conversation over here, okay? And I'd like to wish you the best in your career. So good luck
Thank
for
you,
the one
Felipe.
drop. Good luck.
I've
for
had
the
a
main
lot of
event.
fun. I've had a lot of fun with Felipe getting to know him. I understand why. The reason why, because Felipe's just super smart and just
Thank you
really a
very
fun.
much.
He just understands across the board all these different things. And so I've just had a blast getting to know you, and it's been fun. And you're
That's
and
my
you're
pleasure.
like me,
My
right?
pleasure.
You hang out with the billionaires in Brazil, and you fit right in. I fit right in with my group, and that's not an easy thing to do. I'm impressed.
Thank you very much, sir. That's very honorable to hear. So guys, thank you very much and see you guys. Don't forget to buy this book.
Poker Brat.
Poker Brat in all platforms, pretty much on Amazon and Audible as well. So thank you very much, until next time.
Aí galera, aqui é o Mojavão, que foi professor de poker do Mojave. Mojavão, óbvio, pai do Mojave, né? Aí vocês viram o vídeo agora, né? Se curtiram aí, se inscrevam no canal do YouTube e dá um like aí que o Mojave merece. Depois eu vou ensinar ele a tocar cavaquinho, que ele tá muito fraco também. Valeu, galera.